Hello everyone, my name is Rob and welcome to my college stats video. The purpose of making this video is to show how someone like me with a low GPA and more C's than any other grades can still get into some great schools, and to really break the trend of people on YouTube having like a 3.8 or 3.9 or even a 4.0 GPA like all 4 years of their high school, right? Because to someone like me, that's not really realistic, and I just can't relate to that sort of thing. A quick disclaimer though, before I start this video, this is not really me bashing on anyone, but just trying to show you that you shouldn't be discouraged by stats you see on YouTube and choose not to apply to a school. Keep in mind that just because this worked for me, it might not work for you, and there's a lot of factors, and ultimately, there's just a lot of randomness in the process, you know? That being said, let me break down the format of the video. First of all, we're going to talk about my demographics, the intended majors. After that, we're going to move on to the academics, so the GPA rank, courses / rigor, standardized testing, so SAT/ACT/AP exams. Then we have extracurricular / awards, letter of recommendation / interviews. And then we're going to go to essays. And then at the end of it, I'm going to go over where I got in plus where I committed. And lastly, I'm just going to have a sweet message for all of you guys that are applying in the future. Let's talk about demographics. I'm a male from Asia, specifically from Bangladesh, and I was born over there, moved to America, became a US citizen, and my state of residency is New York. I'm from a low-income family with 4 people. I went to a private school in Bangladesh, and as I'm filming this video, I'm still in Bangladesh actually. So there's that. That's pretty much it for demographics. I applied to a total of 16 universities. You guys can check out my college decision reactions if you haven't already. You can probably find the link somewhere, up there. My intended majors were data science, information science, computer science, information technology, really basically anything to do with computer and data, that sort of thing, right? So now onto the academic section. So before I start, I just want to mention that every school has a different type of grading system. Mine is going to be very different from the one that your school is using. Firstly, with the GPA. So according to my school, I had a 3.67 GPA, but that might be deceiving for many reasons. And because of that, I'm going to be going right to my screen and showing you guys my full transcript. So now I'm going to be going through my 4-year transcript, and you guys can pause at any moment and check out my grades. So this is my 9th grade midterm examination report. This right here is my final examination report for 9th grade. This is my 10th grade midterm. This is my 10th grade final. This is my 11th grade midterm. And this is my 11th grade finals. So those were the grades for my transcripts. As you can see, I had more C's than any other grades. Even though my school calculated it to be a 3.67, ultimately it really wasn't that. So because I'm from an international school, most of the universities recalculated my GPA. And ASU, for example, calculated that I had a 3.0, and Stony Brook calculated that I had a 3.3. So really don't look too much into that 3.67 GPA, honestly. Other than that, in terms of ranking, my school does an unweighted rank, and I was in the top 10% of my class. In terms of course rigor, while my course wasn't the most rigorous, there were definitely people taking a lot higher rigorous courses. I would say it was semi-rigorous, so it was better than average, but definitely not close to what the top tier folks were doing at my school. Standardized testing. So when the question is asked to take the SAT or the ACT, the honest answer is I didn't take either of them. So I know a lot of people on YouTube kind of hide their SAT/ACT grades, saying that,
oh my god, it's the worst. I can't review it. Like, whoa.
either way, I respect that. But for me, I did not take either of the tests, so I applied test optional. In terms of AP, my school does not offer any AP courses, and nor does my country because I'm in Bangladesh, as I said. But what we do have here is A-levels, and I took 3 A-levels exams, and basically A-levels are split into 11th grade exams and 12th grade exams. So for the 11th grade, I had 2 A's and a B. So if you've been watching until this point, you probably already got the idea that I don't have the best of grades, I don't have the best of GPA, I don't have the highest course rigor, I didn't even take the SAT or the ACT, so that can't help me. I didn't have any AP grades, so what really got me into these universities relied on the other factors. So things like my extracurricular, which I'm going to go over now. If I was to get into too much detail, it would honestly take too much time because this is the thing that I put my most time into. So rather than going into every single detail, I'm just going to be scrolling through the top 5 or 6 of my activities. and hopefully that can give you guys a pretty decent idea. And yeah, so I was the founder of a youth operated charity. I started my own marketing business. I was working for a marketing company. I did some research that was regarding Instagram growth. I worked for Mouse Daily for like a year, and it was just group moderation, not really that much work. And I was also the USG of my MUN club. So, other than the extracurriculars that you guys just saw, I was involved with some social justice work. I also did some event management sort of thing on the side and some cultural stuff, and that's pretty much it. So, on to the awards. I literally had one award, and that award was for a science fair at my school, and I was part of the winning team in ninth grade, so it didn't really have that much weight to it. So other than those things, I took my letter of recommendations from my chemistry teacher, my math teacher, my counselor, obviously. Other than that, I took one from my employer. In terms of interview, I only took 2 interviews. One was at Syracuse, which is another story of its own. Maybe I'll talk about that someday. And the other one was at University of Rochester. So as you guys know, I applied to 16 universities, and because of that, I had to write a ton of essays, and it would just not be logical for me to talk about all of those in a single video. So what I plan on doing is doing a single video for each of those university and titling it something like how I got into X university, and in that I'll go into more detail regarding my essays for that universities. So it might be something like essays that got me into UW-Madison, for example. Instead, I will be talking about my personal essay and what I wrote on there. It was basically the story of how I moved to Bangladesh from New York, and I was kind of lacking friends and was in this sort of bubble where I didn't really know many people. I didn't know the way around over here. Even though I was a relatively antisocial person at that time, what I found peace in was social media, and I basically looked into Instagram. I learned how to, I basically found all of those small pages very interesting, and I thought like, whoa, I could do that. I could work with something that I'm interested in at the same time, I could grow an audience for myself. Long story short, I basically developed theories regarding how I could grow my Instagram pages. The way that I tested them was helping people out for free. So basically I would approach the average Joe who was struggling to grow his page and give him some advice. If it worked, he would let me know, and with that, I would know, okay, this strategy is working. Basically, with this testing method, I was able to learn how to grow these Instagram pages pretty efficiently and low of cost while it being organic. Eventually, that sort of work experience got me an internship with Nas Daily for a year, where I basically just managed a Facebook group. It wasn't really much work. At the same time, I was doing those free help, and also the whole entire time I had my pages, I was running them and whatnot. Eventually, through helping people, actually, Charlie Patel, this person, he approached me like, hey, how would you solve this? So I give him the answer, and he basically gets into a Zoom call with me after some days and offers me a job at Influence. I take that job, and the goal of that time for me was, okay, let me help this company grow. Let me help them develop a better service and whatnot for their clients. And eventually got to a point where I was feeling like I wasn't able to control my workload. So what I did was I started my own marketing company. It was all good between me and Charlie. He was actually one of my recommenders, as you guys know. So ultimately, even though there was more money involved, I was able to manage my stress more and whatnot. I ultimately felt like money became a barrier between the people I could help and whatnot. And the people that actually needed help wasn't able to get it compared to before, where I was just helping people for free. And I realized that the whole reason behind me using social media and getting good at it was because I genuinely enjoyed helping people, and that was what ultimately fueled me. What I did was I started this youth foundation with a couple of my friends, and yeah, we basically went from there, and I realized that that was the more important thing to me, and I used my knowledge of marketing and my Instagram audience to raise funds and grow this organization, and right now it's doing pretty well. Yeah, that was basically my whole essay, my personal essay, and that's pretty much it for all of my stats. With that being said, most of you guys already know the universities that I got into, but those who don't, I would highly recommend checking out my college decisions videos. Just that. Other than that, I'm just going to give a quick recap of the places that I got into. But here are the universities that I got into. Here's where I reveal where I have committed and where I'm planning to go for my college journey, basically. In 3, 2, 1, there. I think it was kind of obvious, right? Case Western just happened to give me the best offer, honestly. Um, for what I need, they were the best university overall, from the ones that I got into. And even though there are some people that are crazily obsessed with ranking and prestige and whatnot, those things ultimately matter very little to me because Case is honestly a great university overall, and I'm very proud to be able to have the opportunity to actually attend this university. And yeah, hope you guys wish me the best of luck. And with that, I'm just gonna go on to the outro. Right, so that was the end of the video. I have no clue how long it was, but I'm pretty sure that it was pretty lengthy. And I just want to thank you guys for watching the whole way through. And I hope that I was able to give you as much detailed information as possible because that was honestly my goal. And that hopefully that this information will help you in your college journey and kind of give you a bit more confidence because I kind of wish I had this sort of video when I was making mine because I just couldn't find anything that was relatable to me and about people that got into the places that I wanted to get into, Just want to give you guys some things to take away from this video. Don't be obsessed with rankings. It really can't decide what is right for you. I ultimately decided to attend a university that ranks lower than one of the universities that I got accepted into. If you like a university, I would say still apply to it if you have the time and energy for it, but just make sure to put the 100% of the effort that you can put in and genuinely invest that time. Just remember that just because you get into a university, that doesn't mean it's the end of the road. You still have to be there for 4 years. You have to cope under the academic pressures. So if it's not the right environment for you socially, if it's not the right environment for you academically, it's not the right university for you, So don't just be obsessed with attending that one university because of their prestige, that ranking and whatnot. Because ultimately what's fit for you might not be what's fit for me, and what's fit for me might not be what's right for you, The final thing that I want to say before signing off, I have confidence, but realistic expectations. So what do I mean by that? It's just because you have some low grades, or maybe you have weak extracurriculars, or you have, I don't know, weak SAT scores or something like that, whatever it may be, one part or two part or multiple parts of your application is weak, I would still say to have some confidence in yourself. Because guess what? If you're trying to attend a university/college, there are many, many, many thousands of institutions that can provide you with the right sort of education. Just keep your expectation realistic, because when you do that, you don't get disappointed if you get rejected from somewhere. You kind of expect it. But when you get into somewhere that you don't expect, you get really excited for it and you're happy for yourself. You're able to celebrate that. So with all of that being said, I just want to ask you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys found this video helpful, because I'll be doing some more admissions related / college related videos over here. Share it with future applicants, because I feel like if I had this sort of video out there for me, I'd feel a bit more comfortable applying to the places that I have. The effort you put in to your application really goes a long way. Yeah, that's it. Peace out.